Hey guys, so I'm sick, so I'm going to keep my commentary rather to the basics, but I hope you enjoy this process. So you'll see up here is what the chibi looked like for our initial mapping. And the reason that you usually do refinement is a lot of things look good on chibis does not mean that they look good in more full body looks. Now granted, my style also doesn't necessarily lend itself the greatest to some of the more common tropes of VTubers, and so you're going to see that I actually go through a few renditions of how to draw her and what kind of vibe she has before I finally find a good medium between the chibi and also something that I feel is much more aligned to what I draw. One of the things I struggled here with is I really like big smiling characters with their mouth wide open. She looks terrible. She just looks terrible here. I'm gonna be so real. So I got to this and I was like, I'm not loving it. So I move on to another one. Alright, so I've already made a big mistake, a few obviously, but one of the big mistakes I've made already is that I didn't really map out her eye, just gave her the eye patch straight away, which kind of throws off her face for the rest of the drawing. And then here, I am not even thinking about how the arms work, so I just throw on the jacket and I suffer the consequences of not planning that out better later. So as you can tell, this is the final one. So I actually took a break from her for a little while and just kind of chilled out, drew some other things, kind of resetting. And I realized one of the struggles I was having is like I was drawing her so based on the chibi that I wasn't really accommodating for how I want to draw and like how I draw. Like I do a lot of floofy hair, a lot of stuff. And so this one was much more focused on kind of what I wanted to do, even though that sounds weird because it's like I designed the chibi and stuff, but I think I was so focused on making a quote-unquote VTuber appeal rather than like what do I like to draw. So take it from me, when you're doing refinement, also just pay attention to like what you want to do, because honestly that's the thing you should do. Okay, by now you've already noticed that like I love to go into rendering pretty quickly into the sketching process. So that's already insane. But another thing that my friends always ask me about is how do I lay out quick like flats of skin tone over my grayscale? And the answer is divide. That's like a light blue will make a pretty good orange base that kind of already gives some depth. And you can play around with multiply layers and such afterwards if you want. I just find that it makes it a really good wash that you can then refine and get to where you want it to go as you continue painting.